Right now, as you watch this, something inside your body might be going wrong. A cell dividing the wrong way, a vessel quietly narrowing, the small, silent beginning of something that will one day have a name. And you have no idea, you won't. Not for months, maybe years. Not until it grows big enough to hurt, or to show, or to be noticed by accident. That's how you'll find out, by waiting for it to get bad enough to find you. Think about how strange that is. You live inside this body every single second of your life, and you cannot see into it. So you wait. You feel a lump, and you wait 2 weeks for an appointment. You get a scan, and you wait days for the results. And the entire time, you simply don't know if you're dying. We call this normal. The future will not. Because here is the thing every generation gets wrong, without exception. For thousands of years, surgery meant being held down and cut open while you were fully awake. No anesthesia, none. If you needed a limb removed, a stone cut out, a wound sewn shut, you were conscious for all of it. And people believed that was simply part of healing. That pain was the price the body paid to be repaired. They weren't stupid. The greatest physicians who ever lived believed it. It felt as permanent as gravity. Then one morning in Boston, in 1846, a man breathed in ether, fell asleep, and had a tumor cut from his neck without feeling a thing. The surgeon turned to the stunned room and told them this was no trick. Thousands of years of screaming, treated as a law of nature, over in a single morning. That's the pattern. The suffering feels eternal, right up until the day someone proves it was optional. And here's the unsettling part. The people living through it couldn't tell the difference between a real limit and one that just hadn't been broken yet. They thought they were being realistic. They were just early. So the real question was never, what cool technology is coming? The real question is this: what are we enduring right now, completely certain it's just how things are? That is actually nothing more than a problem no one has solved yet? And for the first time in history, we can partly answer that, because we can watch our own laws of nature dissolving in real time. Start with the body you can't see inside, the one you're waiting on. There are now machines that scan your entire body in under an hour, with no radiation, capturing more than 1 billion points of data, screening for hundreds of conditions before you feel anything at all. Some do it in about 10 minutes. The future is not going to understand why we waited for the pain. To them, finding cancer by waiting for it to hurt will sound like finding a house fire by waiting for the smoke alarm to melt. Then there's decay itself, which we treat as a straight-up fact of being alive. Teeth crack, so we drill them and cap them. Organs fail, so you join a list and you hope, and 13 people a day in one country alone die still waiting on that list. You get cancer, so we poison the entire body to kill one part of it. That's the deal. That's treatment. Except, a drug is in human trials right now that regrows real teeth by switching off the protein that keeps a third set dormant in your jaw. Gene-edited organs are being grown inside animals for people who would otherwise die in the queue. And instead of chemotherapy that nearly kills you to cure you, there are now vaccines that teach your own immune system to hunt the tumor. One of them halved the return of the deadliest skin cancer. In another, against a cancer that kills almost everyone, nearly all the patients whose bodies responded were still alive years later. The future will be horrified that we called any of that treatment, that for 100 years, our best idea for cancer was to poison the patient and pray the patient outlasted the disease. Then there's the strangest one of all, the one that ties straight back to how our ancestors lived. You will spend somewhere around 90,000 hours of your life working, a third of your waking existence, much of it on tasks that bore you, drain you, that you would never choose if you didn't have to. And we treat this as the price of being alive. You work or you don't eat. But right now, machines are quietly swallowing entire professions. Tens of millions of jobs expected to disappear within a couple of years. Tens of thousands already gone. Translators, clerks, analysts, whole categories of human effort dissolving. And yes, that's frightening. And yes, we should think very hard about what it does to people. But step back far enough and notice what the future will see when it looks at us. A species that handed over a third of its one short life to labor it never chose, and called that virtue. And finally, the oldest limit there is: distance. For all of human history, to love someone far away meant mostly to lose them. Distance meant absence. A goodbye at a station could be the last time you ever saw a face. We accept that being apart simply costs what it costs. Hours on a road, a day in the air, years of, we'll see each other when we can. Now, physicists are teleporting the state of a particle across a lab, not the object, its essence, its information, instantly. The first thread of a future internet. Engineers are floating trains through near vacuum tubes toward 1,000 kilometers an hour, faster than a passenger jet. The distance isn't shrinking, it's being deleted. The future may not understand the word long distance at all. The ache of it, the way we built entire lives around how far apart we were forced to stand. But here's where it gets complicated, and where I think the future, looking back, might actually get us wrong. Because not everything we endure is pure waste. Some of it shaped us. The waiting taught us a patience we may be about to lose entirely. The fact that we could die at any moment is the only reason anything ever felt urgent. It's why a sunset mattered, why we finally said the thing before it was too late. The struggle for food is what gave our ancestors' art its meaning. Making something well mattered because survival was real. Remove every limit and you also remove some of the pressure that made us reach in the first place. And not every wall we tear down stays down. Sweden raced to abolish cash. Barely 1 in 10 purchases there is made with physical money now. And then it stopped, alarmed, and started writing laws to protect cash again, for security, for the poor, for everyone. The frictionless future was quietly leaving behind. It turned out the slow, clumsy, inconvenient old thing was also a kind of safety net, and they only saw it once it was nearly gone. So the future will pity us, but it should pity us carefully, because some of what looks like suffering from the outside was, from the inside, also part of what made us human. Still, strip all of that away, and the core of it stays true. Right now, you are living inside your era's list, the list of things you put up with without question, certain they're just the shape of reality, the waiting, the not knowing, the decay, the hours sold off, the distance. You can't see most of it as suffering, the same way the patient on the table in 1845 couldn't picture a morning without the screaming. From the inside, your resignation doesn't feel like resignation. It feels like wisdom. It feels like being realistic. That is the actual everyday thing that will horrify future humans. Not some machine we didn't have yet. It's how much we accepted, how easily we mistook, not solved yet, for simply how it is. How we suffered things that did not have to be suffered, and called it life. And here's the part that should keep you up tonight, in the good way. The future will have its own list. They will endure things every single day, completely sure those things are just how the world works. Things their future will look back on with the exact same gentle horror. No generation escapes this, not theirs, not the one watching this. So maybe the kindest thing isn't to feel ashamed of the list. Your ancestors weren't fools for living before anesthesia. They were early, and so are you. The only question really worth sitting with is the one they couldn't answer, and neither can we, not all the way. Of everything you put up with today, certain that's just how it is. How much is a real limit? And how much is just a problem nobody has solved yet? You're already living inside the answer. You just can't see it yet. Nobody ever can.